Hey guys, it's Cypher here, and today we're going to look at the Fetid Devourer boss in Uldir. This boss is the third boss on the journal and it's pretty simple overall, so let's get right into it. So for tanks throughout the fight, all you need to do is stack on top of each other. You don't need to tank swap, you just need to make sure you stand on top of each other. And the off tank needs to make sure that they're dealing with Terrible Thrash, which every 4 hits is going to hit for 300% of melee damage. This ability can be bopped if needed, but if the tank has active mitigation, they should be fine. So Shockwave Stomp is an AoE knockback and it knocks players really far. So the way we dealt with this is we went into one of the little crevices in the side of the room, we put a marker there for everyone to stand, and when the shockwave came, everyone just got knocked only a tiny bit into the wall and then they could get right back into combat. You can see here the tank's positioned so they get pushed into the little rocks behind them and they don't move the boss. We did have one of the tanks get pushed through the wall though, so just be careful, it is still buggy on beta. Something for healers to deal with is Malodorous Miasma. This is just a small dot that applies to a random player, and when it expires, it will put an even harder hitting dot that just really needs to be spot healed up. Upon reaching 100 energy, the boss is going to cast Rotting Regurgitation. This is just a conal ability, just move out of it and you're not going to get hit. So throughout the fight, there are going to be these waterfall style effects, and it's going to occupy 2 of the 6 little compartments on the sides of the room. After a certain period of time, an egg is going to spawn. It's like a little gooey red egg. These need to be DPS'd as soon as possible because if the boss runs over and eats them with Consume Corruption, he will heal for 10% of his health and get 20 energy, so it'll be casting the cone more often. Once you get the boss to 50% health, he's going to take 50% more damage, but also deal out 25% more damage. This would be the best spot to Bloodlust because it's just a burn phase. You're going to start losing people to deadly disease, and the tanks are going to take a lot more damage. You're going to need more cooldowns. You just want to burn the boss as quick as possible at this point, and hopefully you get the boss down. So with our strategy, we kept the raid on the green marker in the middle compartment, and when the waterfall came down which spawns the egg, it didn't actually do any damage, but it just made it very hard to see what was going on. So you need to make sure, if you do go with this strat, then you need to watch what the boss is doing, check its energy, and if a cone is coming, somebody call it out and make sure you're moving out of that. But other than that, it's not too difficult to deal with. On Mythic difficulty, the only difference on the journal is that there's going to be another egg with more health, so it's just a case of more DPS is required. And that's all the mechanics to this fight. It's very simple, it's very predictable, and it's quite fun. It looks like it'll just be a gear check, and which, for the third boss, isn't that bad. After we played around with the boss and discussing after, felt like this boss could have probably done with something like a tail swipe just to add a little bit more to it, but in its current state it's not too bad, it's pretty fun. Yeah, and that about wraps up this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in BFA.